Chris Martin wrote, has there been any more development on the Pan film to be released in 2015? Thanks.
If it's the same Pan film that I'm thinking of where they got Hugh Jackman, who's going to play Blackbeard, it's signed. I don't know if it's in production yet, but it's greenlit. I think they've got their primary cast and they're moving forward. There probably won't be much to talk about on the film for another 6, 7, or 8 months. So have you guys heard anything different?
I heard somewhere that the sets were built. I remember reading that on some online blog or something or whatever. But yeah, they're in production on it, so.
No, I haven't heard anything. And then there's the other Pan film by who? Someone else is doing another Pan film?
Oh, I don't know.
There's 2 running at the same time.
I'm not surprised. All right, what else we got?
Richard A. wrote, have you heard anything on Summit and Lionsgate continuing the Twilight saga?
Well, there were some whispers about 6, 7, 8 months ago about them actually, I kid you not, about them actually rebooting Twilight already. And I think, though, those talks and whispers got totally derailed when you had a string of other young adult sci-fi, fantasy, whatever things like Host and City of Bones or or City of Suck, however you call it. And the most recently, this Vampire Academy thing did not do well. I think that's been totally put to rest. I don't think we're ever, and I don't even think Stephanie Meyer ever wants to go back to Twilight. So I don't suspect we're going to see anything more. And look, I'm not a Twilight basher. I've said, while I'm not a big fan of the films, I actually kind of liked the last Twilight film. Just trying to be objective, I went in, I watched them like, you know what, this isn't a bad little film. I didn't feel that way about all the rest of them, but I didn't think so. I'm not a Twilight basher. That's not why I'm saying it. It's just I think it's shown the market took all they could of Twilight, and I think the studios know they can't take anymore. What do you guys think?
I think people are done with vampires in general, and I think right now it's the whole zombie trend, and I think in a few years that's going to get saturated and move on to something else. So I don't see a reboot coming.
Sparkles. but like give it like 5 more years. I mean, because Vampire Academy was supposed to be a funny vampire movie, and it just was neither here nor there. It was just kind of a dead on arrival. So
I feel like they just need to take the money and run. Call it a day.
Call it a day. Hey,
move on to the next project.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Matt Whitehurst wrote, I got a good question. If you had to watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
First of all, you're wrong. That's not a very good question. No, I'm kidding. If I had to watch one movie over and over and over and over again on Eternal Loop, of course, it's going to be the original Star Wars. I mean, for me, that's for me, it's a no-brainer. But I am curious to see what you guys are going to say about that.
It's a really difficult question, but I'd probably go with Wizard of Oz.
It's not bad either. That's a
I
pretty good one.
do love that movie.
I'm not sure. I mean, I can say my favorite movie of all time, Goodfellas, but I don't know if I'd want to see that.
That has huge rewatchability.
Well,
25 times.
It has huge rewatchability, but at the same time, it's a very violent and dark movie. So I don't know if I want that in my head all day.
That's why I chose musical.
Yeah, so I'd have to think about something that's probably lighter fare.
If I had to do that, I'd blow my head off after a week, or smash it with a rock, or whatever. I'd kill myself. But within that week of watching one movie repeatedly all the time, I'd watch Dune or Blade Runner, or Flash Gordon. There, I'm not doing one.
All right, what else?
Immortal Tony writes, how many films should the Fast and Furious franchise go?
As many as they can, where audiences still want to see it. I mean, here's the big thing, okay? Sometimes when a sequel gets announced or a certain movie comes out, let's say they're going to do, I don't know, Lego movie, Lego 2. And, so inevitably, somebody always says, we don't need a Lego 2. Newsflash. No, we don't need any movie. There is no movie ever that needs to be made. But the studio makes it because they think the audience has an appetite for it and will want to go out and watch it. And here's the thing, the Fast and Furious right now is only getting stronger and stronger and stronger. They're getting better and better. I didn't even like the first 3 Fast and Furious films. I think they're all trash. And then number 4 is like, hey, that was pretty good. And then number 5 is like, holy crap, that was awesome. And then number 6, I think, was the best of the bunch. And audiences are responding by the box office getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the question about how many should they make, it really depends on, well, how much longer do audiences want to go see it? If audiences still have a desire for it and an appetite for it, then it's the studio's responsibility, nay, obligation, to keep making more of them. And because we tell the studios what we want by our box office dollars. That's how we communicate to the studios. If we want a certain something, we pay to go see it, and that's a message to the studios that the audience wants this. Let's give it to them. So they should keep going until the box office starts to do this instead of doing this. Until then, keep going. Schnepp?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Not only box office, though. I mean, they also want to see audience response, because there have been movies that have made money, like Spider-Man 3, but the audience hated it.
Yeah.
And so they realized, okay, if we make a fourth one, it might not do so well, and then that's when they had problems, and then decided to reboot it.
Yeah, I say keep doing it, especially because James Wan's now on board, and I think he'll bring a new, fresh perspective to the franchise that will only make it better. So
yeah,
get him
it
on
is
board.
because
Continue.
of that. 7 is going to be really interesting to see it. Not just because of how the Paul Walker tragedy plays into it, but brand new director on board. Let's see how this goes. Oh,
I was going to say James Bond. I don't know if you mentioned that. It's like there's a franchise that's like going into its 24th episode or something like that. It's just
24th or 25. Yeah. All right, let's take 2 more.
Salim Fraser writes, "Hey AMC, any new movement on the upcoming Monsters Dark Continent? Love the first one and the teaser is great."
I have no idea what we're talking. To be honest, I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, I looked it up.
The only thing I can imagine is that first movie, Monsters, where it was kind of the found footage with the squids taking over.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a wide-release small.
Right, and now that guy is doing Godzilla, so I don't think he's going back to Monsters Dark Continent anytime soon. It could be just a direct-to-video release, maybe.
Probably. All right, what's next?
Rashad H. writes, "Do you think we'll ever see a sequel to Mr. and Mrs. Smith? I'd love to see Brad and Angelina on screen together again."
I know for a fact that there have been a lot of conversations at the studio about, over the years, wanting to get a Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I know for a fact that Brad Pitt is also quite interested in it. Whether they can ever pull it off, I gotta tell you, I really like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I thought that was a fun little movie. A lot of people soured on it because it broke up, Ben and Jennifer, or Brad and Jennifer, and okay, I get that. But as a movie on its own, I thought it was a real fun. It reminds me a lot of True Lies, the first Mr. and Mrs. Smith. But each year that passes decreases the chances we're going to see it. So I'm going to say there's like a 30% chance within the next 3 years we'll hear about a Mr. and Mrs. Smith 2 going into production, but after that 3 years, I'll drop that down to like 5%. Dennis, what do you think?
I also really liked Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was directed by Doug Liman, who did Swingers and Night and Day, which I also liked. So I'd be up for a sequel. Whether they're going to make it or not, the chances are slowly going down and down.
Anybody else?
Yeah. I doubt we're going to see it happen, just because I think that both people involved have huge careers right now, involving producing and directing, as well as acting, and they have like a whole continent of children right now. So they have to focus on some other things at the moment.
And Brad's production company is actually really getting a footing. Not only did he knock it out of the park and get a huge success with his most recent World War Z, but he's got 12 Years a Slave. He's probably going to win the Oscar. So you're right, that the off-camera stuff, they're also really busy.
I was going to say you can produce it with Billy Bob Thornton and Jennifer Aniston.
All right, let's just for the fun of it, let's take one more question.
William Parcell says, "I know you said you don't want a Robin in the next Batman, but could we see Damian Wayne if he never wears the costume?"
Could we see for those who don't know, you did say Damian Wayne, right?
Yes.
For those who don't know what the question is asking, Damian Wayne is actually the natural true-born son of Bruce Wayne and the daughter and the son also of Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. So in the comic, they hook up, rub body parts, and out comes Damian Wayne. And then at some point in the comic books, Damian Wayne becomes, I think, the 4th or 5th Robin. And then most recently they just killed him off too, so he's gone. I mean, a Damian Wayne not associated with Robin, totally see it. No problem with that theory or that possibility whatsoever. I think it's kind of an interesting story. So I'd be okay with that personally. What do you guys think?
I don't think they'd put it in the first movie, though.
No, I agree.
They'd wait 2 or 3 movies into it.
You're probably right.
Yeah, it seems weird, especially within the Batman mythos. It's a relatively new edition of like the 80 years or so of the Batman. It's like 75, I think. Yeah, 75 years of Batman. Damian Wayne is relatively like 5 years, 6 years.
Right. Aaron?
It's an interesting idea, especially because now we're dealing with an older Batman character. So maybe sometime in the sequel, we'll see something like that. Sorry, not the sequel. The sequel to Justice League, a.k.a. Batman versus Superman 3.
Yeah.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.